first name.
Oh, wait, we don't need to go out through that because I know my name is. I'm going to beat the one editing it. How's my hair? My makeup good? All right. So the first question is what started me, right?
First question is, what problem or challenge were you looking to overcome?
Mm-hmm. So I've done personal development for a long time, almost, it's been 20 years now. And so I've done personal development for 20 years now. And what I found is that, I wasn't getting all the changes, all the transformations that I was wanting to make in my life when I was doing personal development. Now, don't get me wrong, I did a lot of changes and I had a lot of success from doing the work. But what I noticed in working with Alma was that I got really good at working around the problem, around my beliefs or around the issues that I had, instead of actually transforming them. And as a result of working with Alma, I've actually been first to recognize that I was working around them, but then also break through them. And one of them is public speaking. That was probably my biggest and most glaring example, because I had been doing public speaking for like 18 years. And I remember the first time I did public speaking, I really wanted to be a facilitator. I wanted to work with people in front of a room, but work with large groups of people in order to help them transform and lead them through that journey. And what I noticed was that I was really scared to be in front of the room. I wasn't sure why, but my hands would sweat, my hands would shake, my armpits would get sweaty, my voice would quiver, and I couldn't think, so I had to actually read my first speech that I gave in front of the room. And I got better and better at that, but the fear never went away. So in different situations, I would have different types of these symptoms come up when I got in front of the room. And that was after 18 years of doing this stuff. So after 18 years, I'm thinking, well, what's happening? I guess this is just what happens when you're working through these kinds of fears. And then I worked with Alma. And what I found was that I had some beliefs about myself that I didn't realize I had. Like I wasn't enough. I wasn't enough to get on stage and speak as an expert. Now, right now I'm 53 years old. So being this age, I've got a lot of experience in a couple different areas, in several different areas. And for me to stand on stage and speak as an expert with 20 years of experience in accounting or being an entrepreneur, I've earned that right to do that. But I didn't feel like I did. So it was difficult for me to stand on stage as an expert and talk from that space, talk from my experience. And as a result of working with Alma, I've been able to get on stage and speak to that in a way I'm confident, been able to break through that fear and rewire the fear that's in my brain, where my brain automatically goes to a new place that's more empowering and helps me create more of what I want, which is to feel confident and speak from my truth and speak from my experience as an expert. And that, to me, is the biggest, most obvious example of what this kind of work can do and what it did for me.
Okay. What were you most hesitant or skeptical about before you decided to go ahead, move forward, and work with Alma?
Well, I'm a pretty open person. So to say I was hesitant or skeptical I guess there's a little bit of truth to that, because you hear about these things, and because I've done personal growth for so long, I always thought it took a long time to do it. So I was skeptical that I could have results in a fairly short period of time, like actually in a matter of minutes. So when I'm done with a rewire process and it takes 10 minutes and it's like, okay, I've had this fear or this problem my whole life, and we just did this rewire, and it's been only 10 minutes, and I've been working through it for 20 years, and I've had it my entire life. It's hard for me to be open-minded that actually this is actually going to change. So I was skeptical there until I saw it happen, and then it was like, holy cow, this is like groundbreaking stuff. And it's happened over and over and over again. And I still find myself skeptical, and it still happens every time. So it's really cool how fast this stuff can work.
Okay.
Yeah. What's wrong? Chicken?
All right. What was the trigger that caused you to move forward and invest the time and resources to do this for yourself?
Well, when I saw how fast it worked and I saw how much time I had worked with other personal development techniques and stuff and how long it took for that to happen, there was a no-brainer that I needed to move forward with this, because I was wasting too much of my life trying to work on myself instead of and less time working in the area I wanted to work on. So I'm like 20 years of personal development when I should have 20 years of working in what I really wanted. So that when I realized that this could save me so much time and how valuable time is, that's when I pulled the trigger and said, I'm doing this.
Okay. What were your favorite parts or part of the program?
Yeah, without a question. Thought I had my glasses on here. So without a question, my favorite part's been the rewire. I mean, to think that you have a thought in your head and to understand how the neural pathways are built and they're actually physically hardwired in your brain. I've known this for a while. I just didn't understand how they were connected, and I didn't understand that you could actually create a new pathway. So now when you're triggered by something, you have a choice. Instead of being triggered down the same road every time, now there's a choice between two ways to respond. I can respond the old way, or I can respond the new way, the way I really would like to respond in these situations. And that new way is so much more pleasant and so much more exciting and everything that I want, that I naturally just gravitate toward that new pathway. So now I have, in many situations, I'll have a choice to respond. And sometimes, yeah, I do respond the old way, but the vast majority of times I'll respond effectively in accordance with the way I want to behave and the results I want to create.
Okay. And what are the results that you're happiest with? How is your life improved?
I think the way my life's improved the most has been the seeing. Well, I've been wanting to public speak for a long time. I wanted to be more of a professional speaker and more of a facilitator, and really having more effects with other people.